하지 말라 이 모든 건 우연이 아니니까 우리 완전 달라 baby 운명을 찾아낸 둘이니까
Around 7 months ago, I posted my first video here, and here I am 7 months later, being more than grateful to all of you for 100,000 subscribers and also all your supports everywhere. Thank you very much for everything. I purple you so much. Since the very first day, a lot of you kept asking me, why do you even ship taekook? That's why I decided to make a whole video about why taekook is actually a shippable ship and why thousands of people ship it. The video will be a bit long because there are a lot to talk about and a lot to say, but I still squeezed them down into 25 things in my list that makes a lot of us ship it. Only 1 or 2 of these don't make sense, but if you put them together, you'll know why exactly we ship them. Number 1, they are accepting of shippers and shipping. We've heard more than once about fans talking to them about the ship, and we've heard that they always reacted positively toward it. For example, once someone asked Jungkook, when will you get married to Taeyoung? And he said, tomorrow. And then the fan said, if you do, we'll support you, Jungkook oppa. And he said that he understood and started giggling. Another time, when they were doing a photo shoot together in the same group, they named themselves Taekook, their ship name. That's exactly where Taekook Day comes from. It was like they legalized it or something.
태국입니다. 태영 태국의 이제 귀여운 말.
And the latest one, and in my opinion the best one, happened a few days ago when a fan told Taeyoung that she likes taekook, and then Taeyoung actually looked excited, and then he was like, taekook? The best in it. And then when she moved to Jungkook, Taeyoung waited, but when she didn't say anything, he was like, she likes taekook. And then Jungkook just smiled, and it was like they were actually happy. Maybe happy is not the best word to use, but they were more than okay with it. Number 2, they always support and take care of each other. It's like their second nature. Oh my god, Jungkook is being hit? Taeyoung is there, ready to save the day. Same goes for Jungkook. Remember that time when fans were saying that Taeyoung was getting overweight and Jungkook was just massaging his belly supporting him? We all know that Taeyoung doesn't like spicy food. Once, J-Hope kept feeding him some, and JK just pushed his hand away and slightly glared. And when it comes to supporting, we all should know by now that Taeyoung was the one who brought Jungkook out of his shell in the very beginning. He was very shy, he was even a bit introverted, but Taeyoung helped him. He even would stop members from talking when Jungkook wanted to talk. He was like, stop guys, he wants to talk. And because of that, Jungkook always seems to be very grateful to him, because he says that he's the one who brought him out of his shell. And there was another time they had to eat spicy food for an advertise, and Jungkook kept eating from Taeyoung because he didn't want to hurt him. Or when Taeyoung was very self-conscious about his shooting, he was like, don't worry, the cameraman knows what he's doing, it'll be okay, and he was more than happy about it. And one of the most heartwarming moments was when Taeyoung was sick and Jungkook kept protecting him from fans while they were walking through airport. I swear sometimes it's so sweet, like that other time when they were just trying to close his eyes, and Jungkook was like, no, too tight, no, you're hurting him, no, don't do it, girl, why are you doing it so tight, let me do it myself, you're just doing it so recklessly. Or that other time they were saying that Taeyoung's ears were big and he was like, wow, they're so big, they're so nice. A few days ago he said that his favorite part of Taeyoung is his hair. The thing is, Taeyoung said that a lot of fans had been saying that he has to just cut his hair because they didn't like it. So when he was saying it, Jungkook just kept playing with his hair like it's the most interesting thing in the world. And then in the middle of it, Jungkook just looked really mad because of fans saying that. And then he grabbed the mic and said that, yes, I want to grow my hair as well. I want to do it until my waist. He didn't even care if people didn't like it, he just wanted to support Taeyoung. Taeyoung too, in Born This Stage when Jungkook was sick, he made an I love you sign behind him until Jungkook saw it. Or in Bon Voyage when Jungkook wasn't allowed to eat anything, but as soon as Taeyoung went to supermarket, he bought 2 noodles, one for himself and one for Jungkook. And there was this other scene from Brown episode when Taeyoung was afraid to go on a ride, but Jungkook comforted him like, it's okay, just keep your eyes on me.
나만 봐요, 나만.
There are a lot more examples to say, but lastly I want to mention this one. In the latest Ron episode, Taeyoung didn't want to go in a hot room because of his clothing. When they were sorting out their teams, Jungkook secretly checked his paper and realized he was from the room that wasn't that hot. So when Tae asked them to switch, he quickly did it and was more than happy when Taeyoung was happy. Number 3. They have a great chemistry and no matter what, they always click so well together. Obviously, 2 people clicking well together is something you need to watch constantly. But as you keep watching, you'll see that no matter what these 2 are doing, they make it their own thing. Even if something that they do is so silly and out of nowhere, you go like, wow, so cute, oh my god, they're doing it just right. They are just that powerful. They make you sit down, look at them for 40 minutes, not even knowing that 40 minutes passed. No matter where they are, what they are doing, they can be in the middle of a concert, they can be alone together. They will find a way to make it about each other, most of times. And when they are alone, it's like there's no one else outside. You just keep looking at them and you don't think about anything else from outside. That's just the power they have. It's really scary sometimes. And yet it's very entertaining because you actually keep wanting to see them together again. It's not something you will see and you'll just get over it. It's something most of us at least think is very special and we just want to keep watching them being happy together like that. Number 4. They share what they love together all the time. They have their own world together in which they do everything they love with each other. They have a lot of things they love, and when one of them loves something, it's like the other one is bound to love it as well. Not that they are forced, it's just, it happens. For example, for a while, Jungkook loved Overwatch. He loved playing it so much. And the first thing he did was teaching Taeyoung how to play it, and after that, they both kept playing it every night. And every time Jungkook started talking about it, he looked very, very proud. Another thing Jungkook loves is art and drawing. And after a while, Taeyoung just started getting really interested as well and asked him to teach him. He was very shy, so he was like, just look at it without the camera taking it. But Jungkook still showed it off to the camera and he was like, you are good at drawing. Or their passion for photography. Actually, once, a long time ago, Taeyoung said that he wasn't really into it, but after a while they both just got into it and started taking pictures of each other and filming each other all the time. Like, I'm not even exaggerating, all the time, and just trying to help each other with their photography, and it was really interesting to watch. Same goes for everything else. They keep recommending each other different kinds of songs, but they don't do it with anyone else. The rest of the members said that even once, when Jimin was saying that yes, they know a lot of good songs, but they never tell us what kind of songs, Jaeho was like, yes, those bastards never tell us.
근데 이제 걔들 많으니까 그치? 안 가르쳐. 공유를 안 하니까 걔들은 지들 지들이 자기만 좋아하는 곡을 찾고.
But it's not just that, they just seem to have their own small world together, even when they are with others. It's like they still find a way to look like they are connected together and separated from others while they're actually interacting with others. It's hard to explain, but they just always seem to be in their own small world, and their eyes always seem to be searching for one another, and always trying to goof around together, to stay silent together, to do whatever, as long as they don't really have a script or they're not forced to do a certain thing, they seem to always be glued to each other. Number 5. They want to share their first experiences together. Usually when we see them doing something for the first time, like that helicopter experience, they do it together. Or like there was this other time when they were talking about it, when they were going to LA and Taeyoung said that he was really excited to do skateboarding. He wanted to learn from Jungkook, and then after that they asked what Jungkook was so excited about, and he said he was the same as Taeyoung. He was really excited to do skateboarding with him. Or when he said he wanted to take Taeyoung to a beach as soon as he could get his license. Number 6. Their Hyung's support/ship them. There are a lot to talk about when it comes to the rest of the BTS members toward them, but mostly from what we've seen, they supported them no matter what they did. And not only that, there were a lot of times it looked like they were very, very aware of them. For example, there was this time when Jimin made a video of them and posted it on Twitter and just wrote vkook. As you know, it's their ship name. And there was another time when Jungkook was an adult, and then Jin said you can get a kiss from one of the members, and then RM quickly said, Taeyoung, come and kiss him. And the infamous V Jungkook love forever from Jimin when Taeyoung wrote it on the sand. But it's interesting to just keep watching, especially when some members just randomly keep putting them together for no reason. I mean, of course there's a reason, but you know what I mean. Like when RM did it here and then he started just smiling at Suga like, yeah, I did it. Or this other scene when J-Hope did it and he was so happy and Jungkook was actually smiling as soon as J-Hope did it. It was really interesting because it's not even supposed to be that much of a big deal. I swear Jimin is the most obvious one. Like this other time when he wanted to ask Jungkook to keep swimming with them, he asked Taeyoung because Jungkook said no, and when Taeyoung said no, he was like, ah, so much for romance. Or when they had to keep eye contact together, all of them, but Taeyoung and Jungkook kept doing it together, and then Jimin just pointed at both of them and started shaking his head, and then after that started scolding Jungkook like, we were all supposed to do it, but you weren't doing it. Do you want me to hit you? And one of my absolute favorites was when Taeyoung and Jimin were dancing together. Then the song came and Taeyoung went to dance with Baekhyun. And then after a while, Jimin was like, hey, come back here, let's just stand here, okay? Don't go there. And then when Taeyoung kept dancing, he was like, oh my god. And then all of a sudden, just Jungkook came out of nowhere and started dancing right behind them, in the middle of them actually. And then J-Hope saw him and he brought him beside Taeyoung. And then when Jimin and Yoongi saw him, they were like, oh my god, he really did that. Or that other time when out of nowhere Taeyoung just asked Jungkook, were you flirting just now? And then Jimin just looked like, oh my god, not here, did you just? And let's not forget the day he revealed that Taehyung likes to just watch Jungkook work out shirtless and go like, "Ow!"
태영이도 옆에 가가지고 아씨 이래요? 아저씨야 뭐야? 아씨.
야, 부럽다.
다음 지민.
And I also want to include it when Yoongi sends both of them a long message telling them that he supports them for something that we don't even know. And then in the end he said, "I love you." And we all know that even though he's very emotional, he's not one to express it that much. But this time he actually expressed it and let them know that he supports them no matter what. Number 7. They are the happiest when they are doing something together compared to when they aren't. We see it all the time. We don't even have to look that hard. It's like just compare every time they are actually together, sitting together, doing something together with when they aren't. For example, in here you can see when they are in different kinds of award shows, they are just being goofy, laughing together, singing together, jamming together, just being themselves, you know? They really look like they're having the best time of their life. But when you put it next to the times that they aren't together, you'll see a very big difference, especially when it comes to Jungkook. Like, sometimes Taehyung must still be cheerful because he's cheerful and all, but Jungkook, he just sits there even when everyone else are dancing. And it's not just award shows, it's everywhere. Even in fan signs, when they sit together, they just start being goofy together, doing like literally anything. You don't even know what they're doing. They're just having fun together, hugging each other and not hugging each other, playing together, doing all sorts of goofy things, even dancing together. It's really easy to see how happy they are when they are together. But when they aren't, they just sit silently sometimes, not doing anything, not being the goofy people that we see when they are together. They have their own kinds of handshakes, and one of them means, "I promise that I love you." They have different kinds of handshakes, and it's always so cute to just watch them doing it. For example, the one that you are watching right now, it's one of the ones that they do a lot. And when they used to do it, and we asked them what it means, Taehyung said in Fan Cafe that it means, "I'm glad to meet you again." By the way, I'm J-Hope here. He's a real representative of taekook shippers. They also had some really weird ones that we still don't know what they meant or anything. But the one I'm mentioning the most is this one that means, "I promise that I love you," if you look at the sign language. It's the same sign language that you can see Taehyung doing in the night that Jungkook was sick in Bondu stage. Which brings us here, number 9. Even outsiders call them the sweetest two shots of the universe. And right after that, they just do the same handshake that means, "I promise that I love you."
저기에 우주에서 제일 다정한 투샷을 보여주고 계시죠?
Number 9. When one of them does something good, they get happy and support them. For example, Taehyung's love for Magic Shop, the song Jungkook produced, is more than obvious to most of us. The amount of times he just keeps promoting it, he just keeps mentioning it. Every single time he says, "So show me, I show you," to all the fans. It just shows how much he really loves the song and wants us to listen to it. Or the way Jungkook just smiled and said that Singularity Taehyung's song was like an ice cream that's sweet for BTS. And it was so cute when Taehyung and Jimin were talking about how much RM tried to produce and write the lyric for Singularity, and then when we zoom on Jungkook, we see that he looks really proud and happy because of Taehyung and because how much RM was supporting him and helping him. Honestly, it warms my heart way more than any kinds of jealousy or anything, because it's like he just wants the best for Taehyung no matter what. Number 11. They plan their future plans together, like going to military together or living together in the future.
앨범 색깔 아니야? 약간. 네, 약간. 그 느낌 되게 신기한 것 같아. 하고 있어. 종국이랑 같이 그러기로 했어.
Number 12. They have their own songs for each other. When the separation was severe, one of the fans asked Jungkook what song he wants to give Taehyung. He said the song called Let's Break Up. It's actually a very emotional song about loving someone but having to let go of them. And a few months ago they started singing a daily song together to each other and kept saying that it was their song. And the song is about singing a sad song in the name of someone you love because you can't be with them anymore.
매일 이 노래가 널 떠올리게 만들어 다 우리 얘기만 같아서 아무리 귀를 막아봐도 자꾸 맴돌아 듣고 싶지 않아 몸부림쳐도
And when they sang this song for each other, Number 13. When one of them feels sad, the other one does a skit. Sometimes they even act like they're in love. It was said in Haruhana interview, Taehyung said that whenever Jungkook is sad or whenever he's sad, they would just roleplay, do some acting depending on the situation, and sometimes they even act like they're in love. The other members said that yes, this really happened, and they said that they tried it with other members but it never went well. And Jungkook said he also does the same whenever Taehyung is unhappy. They do it a lot actually, they do a lot of role plays. And there was this one time when Jungkook accidentally heard Taehyung and he was like, go away, I'm just gonna go to Jinghyang. And then Jungkook was like, no, come back here, go away Jin. And then he started back hugging him until he forgave him. Number 14. Their eyes always search for one another to steal glances when they are not together. It's more obvious when there's something going on. For example, there was this time when Jungkook was in a group chat and he was chatting to others and Taehyung just kept looking toward him, not saying anything but clearly looking distracted. Or this other time when something was going on, they just kept taking glances but then pretending like they were looking at someone else, like here Jungkook did it. Or just secretly looking at each other and then looking back and then just looking a bit bothered when they weren't really interacting with each other. And you can see when Taehyung wasn't returning the glance, Jungkook just looked like and then kept staring at him. Or a few days ago when Jungkook just couldn't look away every 5 seconds, he just had to keep looking back at where Taehyung was and what he was doing for whatever reason. Number 15. They know each other so well, more than anyone else. For example, in the video that was released a few hours ago, Taehyung knew what was happening to Jungkook, what his mission was, and Jungkook said, I just told him a few minutes ago. It happens a lot, they know a lot about each other no matter what they do. We see it all the time, like when something happens and everyone are like, we didn't know, and then one of them is like, I already knew, knowing their favorite songs, their favorite everything. And there was this other time when the members were acting toward Taehyung and then Taehyung noticed because of how all of them were reacting, and then as soon as he started acting to prank them as well, Jungkook realized it. And as soon as he came back, everyone just started laughing, and then Jungkook was like, as soon as he started talking like that, I just could tell that he knew. Not only Jungkook knew, after a while Taehyung said that he also noticed because all members were acting obvious and also Jungkook was sighing. When everyone else were laughing and acting obvious, he just knew because Jungkook was sighing deeply. Number 16. The way they talk about each other. I can go on and on about how they keep talking about each other, keep complimenting, keep calling each other cute, sexy, very beautiful. They do it a lot. But what I want to talk about is when they answer fan signs or interviews, for example. This time, Taeyoung was like, we were really close, so I just wanted to do this one with him. When they explain everything about their first impression so well, when Taeyoung was very happy about Jungkook cooking for him and all the members laughing and having a fun time. Every time Jungkook keeps saying that no matter where he is or what he's doing, if he's with Taeyoung, he's going to be happy. And as you could see, it's actually true. When we asked him what he gave Taeyoung for his birthday, and he wrote, love. When Taeyoung said if he had 24 hours to live, he wanted to spend it with Jungkook for no reason, just to play games. Every single thing they just keep telling about each other, it's just so detailed, emotional, or sometimes even flirtish. It's interesting. Number 17. Separation. It's not a positive reason, but a lot of us keep wondering why the separation even exists if nothing really is going on over there. For example, in Ron episodes, we keep seeing that they keep pushing them away, just sitting in different chairs for no reason, and it only keeps happening with Taeyoung and Jungkook. Or in other shows like Bon Voyage, with the whole incident with the foods that they kept trying to say that Taeyoung didn't about him much, but he actually did. Or how they kept skipping everything that involved Taeyoung and Jungkook, like the whole thing about where they had to sleep. Or in Burn the Stage, when every time Taeyoung was there, we just couldn't see him. Sometimes we just could hear him, but we couldn't see him at all. Or when they took him to an empty dressing room when Jungkook was sick to film him alone, and even when he was waiting outside, they didn't show him. They cut him as soon as Jungkook reached him. Number 18. Taeyoung can sleep alone and Jungkook never sleeps in his own room. Taeyoung once mentioned that he can't sleep well unless there's someone beside him to cuddle.
뭐랄까 막 일단 누군가를 안아야 돼. 그래야지 잠이 잘 와. 이런다던가 막.
And any army knows that no matter what, Jungkook doesn't sleep in his own room, and taekook are very cuddly together. Even when everyone else are around, no one really seems to care. It's like they're cuddling, who cares, it's normal. And it was mentioned before that when Taeyoung, J-Hope and Jimin were roommates, Jungkook always kept going there, and when they asked him, so if you could room with one of them, who would you choose? He just said, it's Vhyung, because we always play games together.
엄청 쓸만할 거니까.
B형.
B형을 꼽은 이유는요? 같이 게임도 하고요.
And there was this Japanese magazine that said that Jungkook admitted that he used to sleep with Taeyoung and cuddle with him a lot, and Taeyoung used to kiss him in the sleep a lot. And in another interview, Taeyoung said that he always goes to Jungkook's bed even when Jungkook said, go away Hyung, he comes back when he sleeps anyway. Number 19. They share clothes with each other. Jungkook mentioned more than once that he doesn't like sharing clothes with others. Even RM mentioned it once. But I don't know, maybe he only shares it with Taeyoung because Taeyoung seems to think that Jungkook's clothes are his personal clothes and always wears them all the time. And Jungkook doesn't seem to mind at all. Actually, he's the one wearing them sometimes as well, like the fan sign a few days ago when he wore Taeyoung's jacket and smiled like a bunny, like nothing happened, like he was very satisfied. Number 20. Dispatch. Actually, Dispatch is a very normal news site, but they are also the kind of site that keeps saying that they want to out some gay idols out of the closet. And actually after that, they started working with vkook a lot. They started filming them, taking pictures, and every time, even when it's not taekook related at all, they just keep releasing things about taekook all the time, sometimes even on things that has nothing to do with taekook. And that is why most of us keep thinking, why vkook is working with them even though they can work with people who are way more important than Dispatch. And why Dispatch is this fixated on Taekook. And we're never going to forget the day one of the members posted this and Dispatch reposted it with these emojis on their Instagram. Number 21. They are really in sync. Based on a lot of different kinds of researches, because of some hormones, families and couples react in the same way when they are together. They are really, really in sync. Just like Taekook. Sometimes they are really in sync. It's scary. It's like they are the same person. Number 22. Flirting and sensual tension. Well, tension is not something you can just point out. You just have to see it for yourself, feel it for yourself. But there are things that Taekook do and are a little bit too questionable, like the thing you are saying, what is he doing? Yes, it's true that skinship is normal and people go in each other's personal space normally in Korea, but sometimes there is a limit. You really need to know about limits, especially when you compare how they are with each other and with everyone else, and what their hands and eyes keep catching all the time when they are together. I'm talking about boundaries. Do they have any sort of boundaries when it comes to skinship to each other? They don't seem to have any. And sometimes they even act very suggestively, like in here when Jungkook keeps thrusting his hips up and pointing at Taehyung and Taehyung being really shy about it. And Jungkook smirks, literally smirks. Or how this happens, and I don't really think it needs any sort of explanation. Most of the things that we see are not even meant to be caught by cameras. So I don't even know why would they do this kind of things thinking it's fan service, because really a lot of these are not meant to be taken by cameras. And when there is a camera, there's still no limit, like Jungkook just randomly filming Taehyung's butt, or he thrusting and pointing at Taehyung, or like, I don't even know what they are doing here, really I don't. Same goes for here, really what are they doing? Or when Taehyung just casually flirted with Jungkook in the middle of a show, asking if he should wear only a tie in bed, and everyone else just laughed. Or in here, it's not about Korea or anything, it's about Taehyung saying that he thinks Jimin is a pair for touching ties. And then a few minutes later, Jungkook does it and Taehyung doesn't mind at all. Or in here, when JK didn't know that Taehyung was live and he told him to come, but when he came he was like, wait, I'm not wearing anything. The way Taehyung looks at him in here is a way, if my brother would look at me, I would call the cops. I would literally call the cops. This is not how siblings or friends usually look at each other. Also how he looks at Taehyung in here. And Jimin is like, whoa dude, okay, control yourself. Number 23. Jealousy. It happens all the time for a lot of reasons. We've seen it all over the place. You need to know that jealousy comes from insecurity. Not that these people are insecure. It's like when you don't know if someone cares about you enough or not. Not that they didn't show it enough. It's like a kind of fear that you have sometimes. That's why during some certain times we've seen them more jealous than the other times. We've seen it all the time, especially when it comes to skinship, and when it comes to Jungkook, he seems to be the more jealous one, if you want to call it that way. Because a lot of times when Taehyung was just being very touchy-feely with others, you could see that he was just bothered. But it was a different kind of jealousy when it came to members and when it came to other people. Because you could see that when it came to members, he was like sad sometimes, but not really to a point to say, choose me or them. Every time something like this happened with one of the members, he was like, okay, I'm just not gonna say anything, but okay, I'm a bit uncomfortable. Sometimes you could just see it from how different he was reacting from everyone else in the group. But sometimes you could just see it from his expressions. He would tell it all. Same goes for Taeyoung. He wouldn't really get that mad or anything. He would just try to get on with it and get closer to him, or just show it in his expressions. But when it came to outsiders, Jungkook was like, choose them or me. It was like, why do you tell them I love you and you don't tell us I love you? He actually just left in the middle of Taeyoung explaining about everything. Or the other time he was like, choose me or Bogum Hyung. And Taeyoung was like smiling and he was like, of course I choose Jungkook. Number 24. When one of them is sad or cries, the other one does too. I don't want to make this into a very sad video, but I will still point out to 2 times that this happened, this happened a lot. One was here when Jungkook was crying, and if you could pay attention, you'd see that Taeyoung was also tearing up too. Or the other time that Taeyoung was talking about his grandmother, and Jungkook just kept looking down and crying in peace as well, because Taeyoung was crying. Number 25. Kisses and hugs. Skinship is okay, but maybe it's just the way they do it that makes it look a little bit too intimate, to me at least. And sometimes it looks too close and too extreme for the eyes. But even if you think they're just 2 bros chilling together, working out together, or whatever, you can't really deny that they're really cute when they do it. Or in here, when they won an award, an important one, and Jungkook just couldn't stop crying, and then Taeyoung just found them and started hugging him and smiling at him. It was honestly very, very heartwarming and touching. Their hugs are all sorts of things, sometimes just emotional, sometimes just them being goofy together, sometimes just, I don't even know, really, really sweet and cute. Same goes for the times that they kiss. And in here, we actually had to zoom in and do a lot of work to actually realize Jungkook kissed Taeyoung's cheek when he was asleep. And in the same magazine that I mentioned before, it said that Jungkook also said Taeyoung kisses his ear and cheeks a lot. People ship them for different reasons, way more than what I mentioned. It can be them having hickeys at the same time, reserving seats in a hotel 5 minutes away from their actual home. It can be their covers, the hints they send us, or any other reasons. You can even add some reasons if you want in the comment section. But some just ship it for this very reason.
My family is Jungkook. Yeah, cameraman. Yeah.